No, my friend has the same with me.
awful. I'm so sorry, and I will do better. I will, I
Also,
swear.
if it's like
If you never fall, have you given up? I will never stop, yeah.
You are listening to the Like a Girl podcast. We are on a mission to make women's fitness accessible, taking into account everything that comes with it, from periods to body image to the nitty gritty of what it's like being a girly, navigating fitness for the first time. The information provided in this podcast is intended for educational and informational purposes only and should not be considered as medical advice. Whilst we strive to provide accurate and up-to-date information on women's health and fitness, every individual situation is unique. Always consult a qualified healthcare professional or your doctor before starting a new exercise program, changing your diet, or making decisions related to your health. The opinions expressed in this podcast are those of the host and guests and do not reflect the views of any affiliated organisations. Listener discretion is advised. Hi everyone, thank you so much for joining us today and welcome to the Like a Girl podcast. We have got a very, very exciting episode. Our first guest is a fitness social media sensation who shares with her community how to balance university life with fitness. We'll be going over all things fitness. You've actually paired with quite a few companies as well online. So we've got like Shreddy, Able, My Vitamins, Skims, which is just like mind-blowing. Literally incredible. It is my treat to introduce to you all Lucy Thatcher.
Welcome.
Okay, so we usually start off the podcast by going through how our week's been and then also some recommendations. So, Lucy, how has your week been?
my week has been really good. So it was my fourth week back in Manchester, and for me that was my last week of working my graduate job. So I've just done 4 weeks there, and I'm now preparing to go travelling to Bali in Australia, which is I can't believe it's already here because I've been thinking, oh my god, it's months away. It's not. It's literally like next week.
Oh my
so
God.
excited.
How's your week?
It's been good. Yesterday was my birthday. So 22.
yesterday.
Yeah, so I had a good birthday. I went to the Van Gogh experience in Leicester, which is probably a bit of a different experience to London, I might say, just because it was in a really like small church and it was fine. It was good.
Yeah.
Had a few drinks. Yeah, had a good time.
Love that. Love that.
What about you? How was your week?
Yeah, busy, very, very busy. My week was basically all work, but it was my little sister's 18th. We did a like disco cowgirl party.
Nice.
Love the theme.
Which was really, really good. We got to practice like the hoedown and throwdown from Hannah Montana the movie.
I tried to do that once at a competition, but I then chickened out at the last second.
Oh no.
Yeah.
It was pretty wild, but I'll admit I thought a lot of the younger girls would know it and they did not. So I suddenly felt really,
Really
old, really
I
fast.
think that film is about like 10, 15 years old now.
Oh, don't say that.
I literally
That's
didn't
really
even
good.
know. I didn't
No.
realise. I was like dancing in front of all these 18-year-olds being like, you know,
Yeah,
all
they
this.
don't know
like,
it.
No
What is
idea.
this?
I
Nothing.
thought it was going to fill the dance floor and it did not. Okay, so has everyone got a recommendation for the week?
Do you want to kick us off?
I actually can, and I'm
Yeah.
really proud of this one. And it's not that good a recommendation, but I stand by it. So I've been listening to Ray's 21st Century Blues.
I love that album.
It's an album.
Yeah.
It's really good. It's worth a listen. She's just insane anyway. But running to that album,
Oh, that's such
Really?
a shout.
game changer.
Is it?
Game changer.
I've got to
Honestly,
try it.
It was like when I was starting to get a bit tired, kind of, it was like the really
Yeah.
bassy, beaty songs. And then it's like you've kind of finished the run on a high because it's all the very positive songs towards the
Love
end of the
that.
album.
Yeah,
So
I'm gonna give that a try.
I
tomorrow
am
morning.
so. I need some
it's
new running
honestly
songs.
so good. Really
love
good.
I know. It's actually really hard as well to find a good running playlist. Like, I feel
It
like
is.
everyone's got such different taste.
It's true.
Yeah.
Also, some runs you won't be able
Yeah.
to sing along to it, and other runs you need to be able to like
Yes.
lock in and be like, right, we need to click off these like kilometers.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
100%.
I'm a big sucker for reggaeton when I'm running. It's so random, but it's amazing. It
I-
really gets you, and
oh
it's a
my
good
gosh.
beat.
I love
Would
that.
recommend that.
Love that.
Yeah.
Nice.
Do you have any recommendations?
I do. I tried my first F45 class this week.
Wait, was that?
So it's like functional fitness, and I believe it stands for functional fitness for 45 minutes.
Okay.
But the one I chose was called the Riddler, and that was 60 minutes of work.
Wow.
really hard, and I'm still feeling a bit achy now. And this was Saturday, and what we're now Tuesday.
Yeah.
But I really enjoyed it, and I love those like group workout classes. And I did it free on ClassPass as well,
Oh my gosh.
which
Wow.
then is quite good because then you obviously get to do a taster before you commit to buying it. So yeah, I have recommend like trying like a group functional fitness class.
Yeah.
Love that.
Something different as well. And then when you've got
Yeah.
someone screaming at you to like, come on, you can keep going, and like actually then like, no, you can go heavier, and giving you physically giving you the weight while you're doing it. You're like, okay, this is a good workout.
Kind of forced to at that point. Yeah, that's so good. Yeah. Recommendations from me. Ooh. What have I done this week? Oh, I recommend reconnecting with nature
I love that.
because it's important. Yeah.
Okay,
Should we
let's
get into
jump
it?
into the episode.
Yeah.
So first things first, we thought it would be fun to talk about your fitness goals. What are you working on at the moment?
so many
What's going on?
Oh, do you know what? Since finishing uni, so I feel like probably for the past year, maybe been really focused on like bodybuilding. And I think because of how busy university was, having those like set sessions a week just made my life easy.
Yeah.
But I knew that I wanted to do more. So about a year and a half ago, 2 years, I was doing CrossFit classes, Hyrox classes. I remember leaving, coming back to uni to do my master's year, thinking, as soon as I graduate, I'm going to jump into this. I'm entering Hyrox competitions. I'm like really, that's my transition time. And obviously we're now here at that. I've graduated. So I am currently training for Manchester Marathon. I did my first half marathon just this weekend.
Congrats.
Wow. How'd it go?
Do you know what? I absolutely loved it. Like I was running on vibes. Like I was like, this is fantastic. And I had someone come meet me at like 15k in, which I think made it easier.
Yeah.
No, I've already ticked off 3 5ks. That's how I broke it down. I was like, a half marathon is just 4 5ks and an extra little warm up.
That's an interesting way of approaching it.
Yeah.
Like, right, 5k, and then I had a gel. Did another 5k. Right, have another gel.
Nice.
Like, oh, you're halfway through now. You can just do it again.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So I'm training for Manchester Marathon, and that is 200-ish days away. It's next April. And then, really exciting, me and my best friend just got Hyrox tickets for the upcoming November Hyrox.
Love.
Which means I'm going to be training for Hyrox while I'm traveling.
Oh my god.
So again, that's going to be a challenge in itself, but I'm now following a new Hyrox guide, and I'm like, I feel like everything's aligning perfectly
Yeah.
of that. But then at the same time, I love the gym. So I'm still doing my gym sessions. I'm still lifting the weights. I'm still trying to build the glutes. So basically, I'm training for everything.
Everything at the same time.
Yeah, and I guess just hybrid life, like saying that I can wake up one day and run, I can go to the gym, I can attend fitness classes, and I think that for me right now, that feels absolutely perfect.
Brilliant.
I love that.
Yeah.
It seems like you have a lot of experience with like a lot of different types of exercise. What would you say are like the biggest benefits of hybrid as opposed to just running or just strength training for you?
I think you just feel good. Obviously, you feel a bit tired because you're doing a lot, but it's how you balance it. And I think that actually that ability to prove to yourself that, yeah, I can actually go out and do a run. Like on my run, I was like, oh my God, I can actually run. Like I used to struggle with a 3K.
Yeah.
The fact that I can now go out and like just bash out a half marathon, to me, that feels like incredible. Like the reward of it and like actually challenging yourself. But then also when you go to the gym and pick up a heavy weight, and then like the person next to you, like let's say they were a guy, like as a girl, to be able to lift heavy in them, I feel like, wow, this is such like a boss moment. And like, and they look, we've had it before, like the guys look at us in the gym like, they're like lifting heavier than us.
Yeah. I bet that's such an ego boost. I need that in my life.
That would actually be insane.
That's my main reason for getting strong.
I would love that.
I just do it all because it makes you feel good. And I think the endorphins, especially after a run, after a good workout, is just unmatched.
Yeah, it's so true.
Yeah, I've just fallen in love with the process of it all.
Oh, brilliant.
I feel like that's my go-to at the gym is like the leg press. As soon as there's guys around, I'm like, come on.
Yeah.
That's true.
So
Beat
like,
me
what
here.
sort of like workouts do you sort of go like lean towards?
Yeah, so I quite like the gym.
Yeah.
I'm getting into running as well. We've said that we're going to do a Hyrox eventually.
Together at some point. We've
At
made
some
that
point.
promise.
Yeah.
We should get into it soon.
We have not started
We've
training.
not started training. It
we
will
went
happen.
for one brunch and said we're going to do a Hyrox.
Yeah, we
and
hyped
that's
each
what
other
we got
up.
to.
We're not
You've
there
got
yet.
to do it. You've got to do it. Like,
Yeah.
and like it's such a different type of training.
Yeah.
But also, what I like about Hyrox is you probably can do it in most gyms because it's so accessible, and I feel like you just have to try it.
Yeah.
It will be like however long, like 60 to like 80 minutes of like pain during the workout. Like your heart rate's like 170 for like over an hour, but you feel so good.
Yeah.
Oh,
I've heard people rave about it and I feel like I get caught up in like the energy of other people.
Yeah.
So I feel
Definitely.
like I'd absolutely vibe at the events themselves.
Definitely,
Like
yeah.
that would be.
Yeah.
And there's so much push
Incredible.
on it at the moment with social media. Like it's everywhere. Like in the
Literally.
past like year, it's absolutely boomed.
Yeah.
And it's great to see because I was like kind of seeing it everywhere around like 2022, and over like literally 2 years, it's now become this massive thing. Everyone's
off.
still Hyrox.
Yeah.
But I love that energy, like, and how like kind of fitness culture is changing as well.
Yeah, like
100%.
creating huge events for people, like audiences to go to,
Yeah.
and creating that community as well.
I
is
think
so
it is the
important.
community
Yeah,
that makes it like a bit more of a game changer. Because I
No,
think
yeah,
feeling like you're
definitely.
doing it on your own,
yeah.
you
It's
just
less motivation, but it's also
yeah.
people at different levels. So if you go into it with other people
yeah,
and then make progress, it's so rewarding.
yeah.
And if you were to do like another Hyrox and you like manage to chip time off your original time, like that in
Yes.
itself, like
Yeah,
incredible.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
We will do it.
We are gonna do it.
We-
and yeah,
Yeah,
it will be good. A bit of pain.
a bit of pain,
You've
worth
said it
it.
on the podcast now.
Yeah,
Oh.
we've actually committed.
We've actually, it's
Like,
happened. We can't say no, we can't not do it now.
Yeah, it's gonna happen. Okay, so obviously a lot of people know you from social media.
Yeah.
What got you into that space? Like,
Oh my gosh.
how did you end up there?
Yeah, to be honest, I don't really know either. I feel like even since I was like a little girl, I was always drawn to like YouTube.
Yeah.
Do you remember like Video Star?
Yes.
Love
oh my
Video
god.
Star.
I
I'm obsessed.
absolutely love Video Star, and I used to make these like weird like little videos of me singing, and then I used to
Yeah.
upload some of them onto YouTube.
Love
and
that.
then what
Wow.
scared people
Are any
is-
of these still out there?
No, I don't. Well, I don't know. I'd actually,
We hope.
I would love to see if they are. Like, I feel like they'd be hilarious to watch
Yeah.
now. But I used to upload them up to YouTube, and then I'd get scared people at school would see them. And I was probably about 12, 13, 14. So I feel like even from like a young teenager, like growing up with that YouTube culture,
Yeah.
I've sort of seen the evolution of social media, and I've just absolutely loved it.
Yeah.
So I had that, and then I remember like a few like Duke of Edinburgh expeditions and stuff like that. I'd be like, I'm gonna film it all.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
So I feel like I've always
Yeah.
had this like intuition to be like, let's just vlog it, let's do
Yeah.
this. And then I was at university, and I don't know about you, but when I started university, it sort of felt like the door to something new, like a new chapter in your life. Like you could go to a new city, and like no one knows who you are, and you can almost like not reinvent yourself, but like
Yeah.
no one's gonna judge you for what you do because this is who you are right now.
Yeah.
And then we had lockdown happen, and at the time I was vegetarian. I then wanted to become vegan. Was seeing a lot of things on my social media while I was at university, but at home because of COVID. And I was like, I really want to do that. I want to like post recipes. I want to post things online. And I thought kind of like while we're stuck in this like lockdown, we can't outreach. That's how I can then like speak to all my friends even better and like
Yeah.
be more connected to the wide world. And so it kind of started towards the end of lockdown 1.
Yeah.
And the OG name for my account was Veggie Lucy. And I
Love
feel
that.
some people will remember
Wow.
that, but that used to just be like vegan food, high protein recipes, and like a little
Okay.
bit of like day-to-day life. And then it's kind of just grown from there.
Love that.
But I feel like there's been so many like chapters of my
Yeah.
social media.
Yeah.
But yeah, it all just came from me, like I think from a young age,
Yeah.
wanting to do
Yeah.
it, and now we're like pursuing it.
I feel like
Yeah.
that's so wholesome though.
Yeah.
At
It
the same
is.
time, like fulfilling that childhood dream in a way that maybe you didn't
Yeah.
actually realize when you were young was how you would do it.
I see these things as like, imagine like if 13-year-old you could see you right now.
Yes.
She'd think she's so cool.
Yeah.
And like even to be sat here right now, she'd be like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Like,
Literally.
this is crazy.
I
But
love
yeah.
that.
It's quite easy to forget once you achieve something. It's like, oh, look for the next thing, look for the next goal.
Yeah,
but
it
it's
is,
like, keep
so
going.
important to like
Yeah.
be present and that, oh, this is what I've done.
Yeah.
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 I always quite like looking back at my social media as well. Like if I've had like a really bad week, I can look back and go, oh, I actually did some really cool stuff. And like, I don't
Yeah.
know, it feels like almost like a living document of
Yeah.
all the amazing things that are
I
going
sort
on
of
in your
just
life, which
Yeah.
is so
See
nice.
it as a diary. Like
Yeah.
I kind of forget people see so much of it. Like you have your outreach, and I look at like the statistics of like, oh, 100,000 people have looked at your profile, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like 100,000 people just see me do a run.
Yeah.
But then I kind of just like it as like a way for me to document my life. And then when I'm sad as well, or like I'm bored, I literally just scroll through it and think, oh, she's having the time of her life there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, I just feel like it's a really nice way just to document chapters of your life. And
That's so nice. And what's
Yeah.
like your favorite kind of form of content then? If you OG, it was all about YouTube. Now you're kind of, I think most people, would you say, know you off Instagram?
yeah, I
TikTok,
feel like Instagram's my main thing. I'm really trying to push on my TikTok as well now.
Yeah.
Like while I go away traveling, I'm going to do those like day in the life, come spend the day
Yes.
with me,
Yeah.
traveling Bali, and I'm going to try and be really good. But I also feel like my own memories. Like I can look
Yeah.
back and watch what I did day to day But I think people most probably know me off Instagram, and then I'm starting to do a bit of YouTube. I'd
Yeah.
absolutely love to have a consistent YouTube channel, but it's just again the time, the editing,
So much.
it's quite a lot.
Absolutely.
And then everything else that's going on.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Instagram's
busy.
my favourite. To be
I
honest.
love that.
on the topic of being super busy, do you have any advice for university students trying to balance it all? Any tips for consistency
Right,
or
yeah.
building good habits?
I feel like the best way I tackled it, especially last year with doing a master's, is write everything down. And I, on my desktop, on my MacBook, you can do little like sticky notes.
Yes.
So I'd have a
Yeah.
sticky note for university deadlines, kind of when my lecture is next, kind of key things I need to have done by then. So I'd have like a thing there. Every time I open my laptop, it's there. Then the next one was like what content I want to post, what brands I need to reply to, what things I've got like paid deliverables for. So then I kind of constantly refresh. So I kind of feel like for me, like lists work.
I love that.
And then kind of, I think almost remembering like you don't have to do everything in one day.
Yes.
Yeah.
You have got time, especially with university assignments, like chip away a little bit, spend 2 hours in the library each day rather than endless nights doing all-nighters at the end.
Yes.
Although that did
yeah.
happen. The last week university I didn't sleep for about 3 days.
Really? Oh
Yeah,
my
it
God.
was rough.
Sounds it. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Don't
think
ever
it's so
let
easy
dinner
to
that
get
building.
so easy to let those little tasks like become huge mountains that you need to get
Yeah.
across just
Yeah.
because even answering an email, I can be so bad and take hours and hours procrastinating it.
awful.
And then I end up doing it. I'm like, oh, it's a 2-minute task. There was
It
no need for all
was.
that.
Yeah, I think just write things down and remember, like a priority of what they need to be done in order.
Yeah.
And you don't have to do them all at once.
Yeah. That's such good advice, especially at uni. I feel like even in your time off, you can let that guilt kind of eat away at you a little
such
bit.
bad guilt with university
Yeah.
and like time off. Like, I feel like it's really hard because I went from a placement job, then back to university with placement. I was in the office Monday 9 till 5:30 every single day.
Yeah.
They were my work hours. Whereas with university, I feel guilty on the weekends for not working, but you
Yeah.
shouldn't. Like,
Yeah.
you need time off to reset and refresh. Like, university is so hard.
Yeah.
Like, you're learning something, you're having to produce assignments, essays, whatever your type of work is. Like, I had like massive A1 drawings to be producing. I can't constantly tick that away. Like, it's
Yeah.
not mentally healthy. You
Yeah.
also need time off to relax, like go on SU nights out,
Yes.
see your friends, go coffee dates.
Yeah. I feel like
Yeah.
it's a culture change as well. Like even just moving to uni, you need to learn how to live completely independently.
do.
You're taken away from your normal support system.
Yes.
Even things like
So
I need to do a
much.
food shop.
Yeah.
Like normally, like at home, you'd go and like, oh, there's food in the fridge. At university, you have to factor in like, right, I'm going to go to Aldi at this point.
Yeah.
Then like even like for me was like, how do I get home from Aldi?
Yeah.
Am I walking? Am I getting an Uber? It's like, are we going with friends? Like
yeah.
there's so many like little parts of university like you don't really see online. I think.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
so true.
Yeah.
That's so true.
And that process of just starting and making those friends to begin with, so much pressure around finding your circle immediately.
yeah.
And it's just not always realistic. Like you'll sometimes find your closest friends second year or third year even,
Yeah.
and it
And,
shouldn't
like,
take away
sometimes
from
not even on your
anything.
course.
Yeah.
Like
My
Yeah.
best friend who I moved in with last year, I didn't even meet her at university. We met
really.
through social media. She actually followed me, which is crazy.
Aw.
Absolutely,
Sweet.
you won't meet everyday one friend at that very first freshers event.
Yeah.
And you don't need to burn yourself out at freshers either,
Oh my
trying to be
God.
social.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Because for a lot of people as well, it's their first time moving out from home and being away from family. Like you will probably feel sad that week as well. Like this is so
Yeah.
different. Being
Yeah.
away from like pets and stuff.
Yes.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
And also with alcohol involved, like
Oh,
the
yeah.
hangovers, like your emotions
Oh.
going to be everywhere.
You can't go at
It
100%.
is wild time.
Yeah, and
honestly.
not all of us are extroverts.
No,
so if
yeah,
you only have
no.
a certain amount of social battery and you're
Yeah.
done, that was me. Day
I'd
one.
say like I'm quite extroverted, but I burn out really fast.
Yeah.
So I kind of like give 110, and then it's like suddenly I'm like,
Nope.
I can, yeah, I'm a bit like that. I can like be everything, and then when I'm sort of done, I'm done.
yeah,
I need my
yeah,
like alone scroll on TikTok time.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I'm the
I
same.
feel that.
exactly the same.
Oh. What are the more negative sides of social media, do you think, from your experience?
I think you have to remember social media. It is a highlight reel, and I think when I find myself comparing to like other people that are doing similar stuff to me,
Yeah,
and you then sort of see them getting these opportunities or these things happen, you're like why have I not been offered that? You have to
Yeah.
remember, like, everything happens at its own pace. And I think with social media, when you sort of start seeing it as just people posting the most positive stuff,
Yeah.
and actually they're probably not showing them like really stressed or tired throughout the day, it makes it a lot easier. I think I haven't experienced too much negativity on my page because I think I've always tried to be very transparent and honest about like who I am. I won't work with brands that I don't resonate. Like I wouldn't, just for the sake of a brand deal, accept something like I don't agree with it. Like a lot of everyone I work with, their products that I love, I would only want to promote things that I use day to day. I'm not going to sit there and be like, guys, you need to try this product. It's amazing. Never tried it myself. Like that's not, I'm not about that. And if that means that I progress slow on social media, then so be it, because I don't want to be fake, false in that way.
Yeah.
But I think the only like negativity I had was when I switched my account name from Veggie Lucy to Lucy Thatcher now.
Really?
Because people were like, you can't go from being vegan to then eating meat, and they couldn't understand of it. But for me, it was a health decision.
Yeah.
My body was craving to eat meat. I went out for meals with friends and I was like, oh, I really want to try that. And then be like, can I have a bite of your burger?
Yeah.
And for me, it got to the point where it's like, come on, this is happening like almost every day. We need to just start. We need to, because I put that label on myself and put it on social media, I felt a lot of pressure to like maintain being vegetarian, vegan.
Yeah.
And even some of the brands I was working with were purely like plant-based brands. So I then felt all these like pressures around my head, like I can't go and eat the cheeseburger from McDonald's. But then once I broke that and then announced it, there was a few people that were a bit like, well, I'm not going to follow you anymore. Like, and I was like, that's fine, because you don't resonate now what I'm going to be posting. But apart from that, everything's been fine. But you just have to see it like people are always going to post their opinions online.
Yeah.
And also a lot of people hide behind a screen.
Yes.
They,
So
they won't say it to your face.
Yeah.
But if it's behind a screen, they don't have to face you physically. They will say whatever. And I think just remember, like it's not the end of the world. You can block, remove.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I wouldn't want my page to ever have like that negative connotations to it either.
Yeah, definitely.
I want it to be like a really happy space online, like a little pocket of the internet where people like go for motivation, inspiration, that kind of like, oh, let's see what Lucy's done today. If I can like get me out to go to the gym today, that kind of vibe.
Yeah.
Rather than like, I want my comment sections to be filled with like
Yeah.
horrible comments.
So I feel like we're starting to see a bit of a shift on social media where people kind of occupying that fitness space are being a lot more open
Yeah.
about not just kind of like the realities of working out, but also kind of maybe a lot more open with how bodies change, but also like how they can change throughout different cycles of life, different times, like all of that. Like, and I think that's been really, really refreshing.
I think there's also been a massive change and a shift between working out purely for aesthetic purposes, but also towards a better quality of life, better mobility as you grow older, empowerment through aging, and just that all that functional side of it is really growing with Hyrox and everything. So I think that's a huge side of it, and strength training, like working to build that strength.
So I'm going for it myself. Like, so I've gone from that bodybuilding background, and this time last year I just finished a cut, and I was probably the smallest I've ever been. But I didn't see that at the time. At the time, I thought I'd failed my cut.
Really?
And I watched the video, it came on my Snapchat, and I was like, oh my gosh, Lucy, like you really needed to not be in that cut at that point in time. But actually now changing my goals purely to like performance. Like obviously the aesthetic would be nice, but actually the fact my body can do all these things means so much more. And it's really refreshing to see that shift on social media away from like being purely about how you look to how you perform. And what your body is like capable of doing. And even like I like content where it's like my body looks like this, but it also looks like this. Like gym angles. Like you go to a gym and there's mirrors everywhere. You catch yourself at some weird angles, and you then it can sometimes impact your session. Like it impacts mine. I'm like, I want to put my top back on now.
No, I'm so similar. I've left gyms before when I've just felt like, oh, I'm not performing as well, or I've caught myself in a mirror. I'm like, I'm leaving. But
I think it's really nice to start seeing people posting content about that, and like how their angles aren't always what they're posting online. There is that like, oh, my body also looks like this 2 seconds later. Because to everybody else, like who's going to the gym and isn't an influencer, who doesn't have 100 hours a day to be dedicated in the gym, they've got normal jobs, you aren't always going to look the same as your favourite influencer.
Yes, so true. And I feel like with women, especially physiologically throughout a month, you're going to look so different on week 2 versus week 4. Like bloating is such a big thing, and it can really affect the way you approach the gym, I think. But
I had that the other week. Like I was feeling really heavy and bloated. I couldn't understand why. I realised it was because of where I was in my cycle. But I think all I did was I put a baggy top on, got on with it, put the headphones on. I was like, I can still move my body, I can still lift the weights. I just feel a little bit more bloated, but that's okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think when you dress for the gym, put something on that makes you feel good. It's not a fashion show. It can really feel like that. Like you have to have the most, the brand new set, like the latest colours. But actually, if you've got a piece in that wardrobe that makes you feel good, wear it.
Yeah.
Because you're going to have a better session if you dress in a way that makes you feel good. I've always had the better sessions that way.
Yeah.
Love that. Do you think there's any pressure in the gym to look a certain way, or do you think that's more feeling that you're being perceived like on?
I sometimes think there is a bit of pressure to look a certain way, but I do think that is, again, from what you're seeing on social media. Like,
so true.
Yeah.
if you've, the way I would break it down to someone that's like worried about how they look in the gym, your favourite fitness influencer's probably done half an hour's worth of makeup, hair before they've gone to film that content, because they know it's going everywhere online, and that's how people are going to perceive them. They've probably spent a lot of time getting ready to film that content. Not everyone does. A lot of people work out without makeup, but there are a lot of people that when they're posting their content, they look a certain way because it is for them work. They're getting ready for work. Not every gym session you have to look as if you're your most presentable self. At the end of the day, you're going there to do a workout. You're going to exercise.
Yeah.
You're going to get sweaty, red-faced.
Yeah.
Sweat patches are normal.
Exactly. Yes. So true. I feel that.
Yeah. I did like a full Hyrox simulation the other day, and my friend went, the back of your shorts are like a different colour. And we realised I'd sweated through, and there's this massive triangle, and then she was like, and on the front. I was like, you know what, I did a good workout.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
It's proof. Yeah, that's such a good attitude.
Are weird about sweat, but like, you've just pushed yourself and you've done something your body hasn't done before.
And achieved. Yeah.
I just go red straight away as soon as I do a little bit of workout. As soon as my heart rate is up just a little bit, I'm like a tomato.
Love
straight
that.
away.
Yeah.
And it's taken me so long to just get over it.
Yeah.
And just be like, no, that's who I am.
This is me.
What can you do?
Like, at the end of the day, like, the fact you're at the gym and you're doing it is more than enough. Like, how you look at the end of the day isn't the end all. You're going to the gym to make yourself feel good, not even necessarily to like look a certain way. You're going to move your body, de-stress from what you've done in that day.
Yes.
Sometimes like you just have to go and like enjoy the idea that you're having. Doing something like that switches you off from work.
Definitely. I feel like sometimes like doing something is better than doing nothing. Like even if you just go and walk on the treadmill, or just move your body. It doesn't have to be a full-on workout every single time, which is, I feel like some people aspire to too much, just like that perfection when you can't reach it.
Even like hitting a PB every time. You don't have to go and hit a personal best. Like, it's not going to happen every session. If you even get one rep extra, that's a win in itself. But the fact that you've been able to come the following week and stay consistent is more than enough. Because that's how you will progress over time. Like, if you put on a chart, like January, what you were lifting compared to like now, there's a huge difference if you kind of stick with that routine. Whereas if you're like expecting to have PBs all the time, it's not going to happen. And then you're going to get upset, and that's why you're more likely to fail as well.
Exactly. We talk a lot about this in terms of kind of like cycle syncing and looking at kind of the workouts you do depending on where you are on your cycle. And obviously there are times in them when you're not going to lift as heavy as you're used to, or you're not going to hit that personal best, and it can just be so demotivating.
It can.
Like, it's so true to try and keep that bigger picture in mind.
Because I had it before where I was trying to get like a 200 kilogram hip thrust, and it was taking time. But I then had to remind myself, well, actually, I'm a girl. I've got hormones. This week, I'm really struggling with it. Let's just try again next week, or let's try again in a few days. And it happened, but it just took time, and it is all depending on like your cycle and how your body is and how well fueled you are as well for your workouts. Like, I've even like on rest days, I try and eat the same amount of food as I would on a training day because your body needs to recover. I think that's kind of where people then fall back, is because they think they're not moving, they don't need to eat as much, but you do.
That's so interesting, actually, because I 100% do that.
Really?
Yeah. To be honest, I'll go to the gym without eating. Like, it's just not.
So
See, I couldn't do that.
Wow.
Yeah, I would never do a workout unfueled now.
Yeah, I think that's so important. I feel like people go to the gym expecting results, but then don't necessarily eat after even. Like protein.
And you don't have to go and neck a protein shake afterwards. As long as you've got something that's balanced. Like, I don't love protein shakes. I'm over it now. Like, I think everyone, when they start going to gym, like, going to go to the gym, I'm going to have a protein shake, I'm going to have the biggest biceps afterwards, that kind of vibe. You don't have to have a protein shake. You could have like a chicken sandwich. Like, you could have like eggs on toast. You could have a bowl of Greek yogurt. Like, you don't have to have that like gym bro moment.
I feel like leaning into kind of the gym bro vibe.
Yeah.
Have you ever felt maybe like challenges going to the
Oh,
gym during,
so
you
many
know?
times, so many times. You will get it at every gym.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that's just the way it is. Like, men will be men, and I don't think they mean any harm by it 99% of the time. But I do think they like, I think how I perceive it is, are like, oh wow, like good for her, like she's in the
Yeah.
gym. I try and see it in a really positive way. Like, if men are like looking at you, they'll probably be like, yeah, hats off to her. And that's
Yeah.
actually like, a lot of men have come up to me like, you're really strong, you're really dedicated. There's a guy in my gym that I train at now, and he goes, it's really good to see you, like you're so consistent, you're working hard. Whereas it might come off initially that he's a bit like strange and he's staring at you, but he's not there. A lot of people are kind of like, yeah, go her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the gym itself feels like a very male dominated space.
Yes.
Kind of establishing the idea of yourself that you deserve to be there as much as them is really important. Like, I
Yeah.
made a video at the start of the year about gym confidence, and I feel like one of my key messages was we all pay the same gym membership.
Yes.
We all pay to use all of those facilities. Just because loads of men in the weight section doesn't mean you can't go in the weight section. You can.
Yeah.
Go in there with confidence, hold your head up strong, and if you're struggling, put your favourite music on.
Yes.
Literally all it takes is day one. Once you've done day
Yeah.
one, you can do day two, day
Yeah.
3, and you'll get better and better at it.
I do feel like it is almost like you need to break down that barrier just once and you
Yeah.
realise that you can, like going into the
Yeah.
free weights area.
Yeah.
And like me and my friend nicknamed it like the scary area
Yeah.
for quite a while. But like we literally, once you've gone in there once and you've got that
Yeah.
confidence that you know what you're doing, because I think for me a lot of the fear was like, I can't stand it. And I know that people are doing this to be nice. But if someone comes up to me to tell me I'm doing something wrong,
Yes.
Oh, the form
Yeah.
correction.
oh, it makes
No.
me want to
I know.
hide.
I hate it.
Oh,
But I
God.
have one that experience myself. I was like 15 in the gym, and you know, like kickbacks on the cable machine.
Yes.
At the time, they were everywhere online. Like, that was the phenomenon thing. And I tried to do it, and I didn't know how to do it. And the PT came up to me, he was like, "You don't want to do it like that." But it's how he
Yeah.
approached me, and I was like, if you'd
Yeah.
approached it in like in a nicer way, like it stuck with me to today. Like, I have
Yeah.
actually a fear of doing kickbacks because
Literally.
of that one comment that was
Yeah.
made.
Yeah.
And I think they are just trying to be helpful with the form, but honestly,
Yeah.
I didn't ask for the form help.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I will
It's-
learn.
Yeah.
And that is the thing,
Yeah.
the gym is a learning experience. Like, you are always learning.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
feel like there's a way to approach somewhere. It's just like,
Definitely.
oh, sorry, did you want a bit of a, like,
Yeah.
I've got
Yeah.
a tip for you or something, rather
Because
than
I
being
feel
like,
weird
you're
myself,
doing it wrong.
like going up to
Like-
girls being like, oh, how about trying this? Because I know
Yeah.
how it feels on the other end.
Yeah. It's
Like,
quite
I would see something and be
intimidating.
like, did you, I feel like my friend would be like, should we go and help? I'm like, I don't know, because
Yeah.
will she take offence to it?
Yeah,
And I
it's
think
so
it's
hard to tell.
knowing when to approach those sorts of situations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just the tone.
The
I feel
tone's
like
so
the
important,
tone
yeah.
decides so much.
Yeah. Especially as a man coming up to a woman telling you you're doing something wrong, which I
Yeah.
do appreciate, but it is the approach, like you say,
is.
Yeah.
and it can be quite intimidating.
Yeah.
But
That was always like my biggest fear going in there. But I think
Yeah.
one of the things I did was I had a PT like just for the day, just to
Oh,
walk
yeah.
me through
That's a
That's
good
a good
idea.
that
Yeah.
area. So then I was like, no, I know.
Yeah.
What I'm doing is at least close enough to write because
Yeah,
they've
no,
told me.
100%.
yeah.
That kind of helped me get over it a little bit.
Yeah.
I think when you have that day when it no longer becomes scary, it's incredible.
Yes.
Like, for me, I think coming back, so at university, I was in like lockdown era. So I started my first year and I was terrified of the university gym. I probably went about
Really?
3-4 times and I was paying a monthly membership. We then went into lockdown in March, and then that following April, then the gym opened up again, and I said to myself, I pay for this membership. I'm entitled to be here. I'm gonna go, and that for me, that day holds such a strong point in my like fitness journey where things changed.
Yeah.
I went in there, I was like, right, I'm paying the same membership as him over there.
Yeah.
And I just sat myself on a bench and I started lifting the weights. And then from that point onwards, I've been like, I don't care what men think of the gym. Take up space.
Yeah.
Do the
Yes.
workout you want to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you want to like squat, that's fine. If you've got no weight on the bar, that's also not a problem.
Yes, I think
You
that's
don't-
huge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
you don't have to be like racked up with all the weights to be entitled to use a space.
Yes.
You can use the equipment. You pay to use the equipment.
Exactly. Yeah. I can only currently bench press the bar.
Literally same.
Yeah.
I'm so proud of it though.
Yeah. Same.
Like,
and it's
there was a
like
time I
we still
couldn't.
have
I
the
think
right
that's
to
a really
take
scary
up that
piece of
bench.
equipment. Like, that for
Yes.
me was like the men like piece of equipment.
100%. 100%.
And like I have found before, like when I've been benching, men look at you
Mm.
We used to say like, what's she doing?
Yeah.
Like, but actually incorporating exercises like the bench press is so vital for your like upper body growth. And like,
Yeah.
I think people forget as well, like if you're trying to grow your physique or like build muscle, you need to do upper body as much as your lower body
Yes.
Oh, okay.
for like a balanced physique,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
over time you'll have like disproportions. So
Oh my god.
if you're doing 2 leg days, I then say
Yeah.
do two upper body days, like a back day and like a push day.
Yeah.
So like it's okay to take up space on the
Yeah.
bench press.
Yeah.
I think we're also entitled to get things wrong. Like,
Yeah,
as
you know, that's
soon
so
as
true.
we walk in there and you're not expected to know exactly what movement and how to do it and what weight
Yeah.
to start with. Like, it's absolutely fine to just
Yeah.
pick up a weight and be like, oh, there's no way I'm doing that. Put it back
Literally,
down,
yeah.
try again. So, yeah, we're
'Cause I'm
entitled to
like that
fail.
with like Hyrox training. Like I've really not done that many like sled things
Mm.
before, or like even like the ski erg. Like I'm learning
Yeah.
still. Or like I went to a fitness class this week and I learned like a better technique to do burpees.
Oh, okay.
You're
that's cool.
always still learning. Like I've been like CrossFit gym since like for 4 years, and again
Yeah.
like every day is still a learning day in the gym.
Yeah.
Definitely, yeah.
I love that though. I love like the idea that it's an entitlement
it
to
is.
get it wrong sometimes.
Mm.
Like that really changes the narrative a little bit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Actually, I have a right to be here
yeah.
and to fluff it
Yes.
sometimes.
it's like you haven't grown up doing those exercises
Yeah.
or movements. Like you are
Mm.
learning something brand new. Like,
Yeah.
and even like if you're doing something like a specific like hold, like there's still skills that I can't do a handstand. I'd love to do a handstand.
Yeah.
You're still gonna like probably make a fool of yourself falling over like 100 times
Yeah.
before you get that handstand.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So true.
Yeah.
So true.
Have to be so prepared to be a beginner because you don't want to go in there expecting to get it
Yeah.
100%.
And then you'll look back in like 6 months' time and think like, I'm so glad I went into the gym and did that.
Yes.
Because look at where I am now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
I feel like
Definitely.
that circles back to kind of what you were saying before, that we don't take enough time to stop
Mm.
and actually think about what we've achieved. Like,
I had this with my best friend. So she joined the gym with me this year, and she's always been like very fitnessy. But she was like, I want to do the gym this year with you. And I kind of like coached her through it throughout the year. And like, I think we had like a conversation towards the end of the year. She's like, I'm not making any progress. I was like, look at where you are now compared to a year ago. So she was probably hip thrusting about 60 kg and she got 170. But then the conversation we had, she felt really demotivated. She was like, I can't move it. Because the week before she had like 180. I was like, you couldn't even do 60 this many months
Yeah.
ago. Like, look at
Yeah.
where you are now
yeah.
and celebrate like the small wins. Like when you look at the bigger picture, like the fitness
Literally.
journey is like incredible,
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
It's okay.
I think it translates quite well to just general life.
Yeah.
Like taking stock of where you are and being present and being like, oh, I've made it this far.
Yeah.
And you also prove to yourself you can achieve and you can do more
Yeah.
in the future.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So kind of on that note, say there's a girl that does want to take kind of like those first steps into the gym, maybe a bit hesitant, quite nerve-wracking. Where would you recommend she starts?
So if you're like you've not really been in that gym environment, like it is, and it can be a really intimidating thing to like look into. But I think my biggest tips are, see if you've got a friend that wants to go with you,
Yeah.
sort of do it like a buddy system, and it also keeps you accountable as well. Like, and also you're not walking in there alone. You kind of can like face it together,
Yeah.
which I think is really good. And if they've been to the gym before, that makes it even easier. I'd also say with starting the gym, try and follow a program.
Yeah.
It's very easy to go in blind, but I think if you've got a program and your workout written out for you, what you're doing, and some apps actually have like a little video of the exercise,
Yeah.
which helps. But if you're unsure, you can play the little video and it says like, right, we're going to do the movement like this,
Yeah.
and then you know it. You don't feel as like intimidated in that space, and also it will help you make progress. If you're being consistent following a program week by week, you'll then start to see the changes you probably want to see.
Yeah.
And then like your strength build, but also things like have your favorite playlist ready to go, like something that
Yes.
makes you feel good, makes you feel empowered.
Love that.
And also like what you wear. Again, like I always find if you put a good gym outfit on that makes you feel good, you're going to walk in there with more confidence than trying to wear something that you've seen your favorite fitness influencer wear, but not necessarily suits you and your body shape.
Yeah.
Like, so kind of go and dress for what makes you feel good and just take it slow and enjoy it. And you probably will have moments where like things don't go as planned. But I think even the fact you're considering like starting is incredible. And I kind of wish I could go back again and just restart the whole process, because it's such a fun thing and it's become such a big part of my life. Like, I don't know about you, but like once you kind of get that fitness bug, you just want to keep going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
That's really sweet.
Yeah, that's such a good answer.
And I also would say as well, if you're in a gym where you have like the cardio equipment kind of overlooks the gym.
Yes.
So like if you're at the university gym, like the treadmills I think still look across the whole gym.
Yeah.
Sit yourself on a treadmill for like 10 minutes and just walk and start looking around. You
Yeah.
can then kind
Yeah.
of plan, okay, I can see a leg press there. Let's go and start with a leg press. And from the leg press, be like, okay, once I've done 3 sets on leg press, I can go and do some squats or something like that. Having somewhere where you can kind of like sit or like stretch first and kind of like
Yeah.
look around the room and plan where you're moving to next, I think is really helpful.
That's such good advice, because in the past I just aimlessly kind of wander around my first gym
Yeah.
Yeah.
and have a look around. But you've got such a good vantage point, like a Goodwin, for example, from those treadmills. So
Yeah.
that's such good advice. I feel like as you branch out, like you have like 4 pieces of equipment that you can start off with, like, oh, I know I can do that, and then you can keep adding them and keep making progress and learn
Yeah.
how to do these new moves. So yeah.
Love that. Thinking back to kind of people getting started, what about for the girls that might want to start their own fitness Instagram or just start being online? What are your top
Do
tips
it.
for them?
Just start it. Get the account set up. My biggest advice, like the person who joined me on my run the other day, he was like, yeah, I'm thinking about it. I was like, just do it. Go home and set the account up right now. You will never regret it.
Yeah.
And if you want to put it on private, put it on private if like your mindset changes. But the opportunities I've had through having this account and the way in which I've grown as a person, I'm so much more confident by having that little like pocket on the internet. And I think my biggest tips would be do it because you want to do it.
Yeah.
Do it in your own style. I feel like if you'll probably end up copying people a little bit, but that probably won't take you very far. You need to establish your own identity online and like your own style and what works for you. You can't compare your progress to other people as well. Like everyone changes and it's all algorithms. Like
Yes.
I could tomorrow have one video and it blow up and then that's my life changed. That's what happens. Like people get that one video and it booms. Like progress happens, and I kind of see it as everything happens for a reason at the rate it's meant to happen as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, I say just get it started
Love that.
and post what makes you feel good, like, and what you're happy to share online. And if you're not happy to share something online, don't post it.
Yeah.
And if you're wanting to build a really engaging audience as well, I would say chat on your stories, do voiceovers, let people learn about you and your voice, what their day-to-day life is like, and like who they are, like what they do, kind of like even like their struggles each day. So then you feel like that person is more relatable.
Yeah. Oh, that's brilliant. Yeah, inject a bit of personality into it where there wouldn't have been.
Because
Yeah.
it's your page at the end of the day, like, and make it what you want it to be.
And I think it's like we said earlier, like being all right to not get it quite right the first time
Yeah.
and then build on it. Like it's so important. You can't reach that perfection, which is what we all tend to do.
Like I'm still learning how to edit videos now. Like your style will change and everything. Like if I look back at my old videos, I think, wow, Lucy, we really could have like sped this video up a lot more. Like we could have cut this bit of the video out. But it's all a learning process,
100%.
and you can't expect to have from day dot for it to be amazing. You'll naturally grow and evolve. And I think
Yeah.
the biggest piece of advice is be true to yourself. Like I said earlier, don't work with brands for the sake of it, for the money.
Yeah.
Stick with what your values are, and that will pay you off in the long run.
Yeah.
And again, like it makes like little me so happy that like
Yes.
we've got to this point.
Yeah.
On the way up to this podcast
Yeah.
today,
Yes.
Literally.
I walked into here and I was like, that's a massive photo of me. I didn't know that was being posted, but yeah.
Did you not?
No,
Really?
I didn't know that.
Oh.
So that was a shock to myself. After this,
that's
I'm
been
gonna go.
everywhere. I'm sorry to let you know.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna have a walk around university now and like
Yeah.
have a look where that is and then tweet it out.
It's the early bird offer.
Yeah. But yeah,
Oh,
no. So for me, it feels very surreal, and it's like,
Yeah.
oh my god, how do we get here? But I'm honestly just enjoying the process of it.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I think that basically brings us
To a close.
to the end.
Yeah.
I've absolutely loved it. Thanks for having me.
You're so welcome. Thank you for coming.
It's nice to be back in Sheffield.
Yes.
Bit of a throwback
Yeah.
with
I
your
know.
face everywhere.
Yeah,
Honestly, it's been so nice having you on. You're literally such an inspiration. I feel like
thank
everything you've
you.
said. It's motivated me to actually get back into the gym because I kind of had like a
I've
week
fallen
off.
off as well.
Yeah, so I think
Yeah.
we needed this more
once
than
you
you
have
know.
that day one moment again, and
Yeah.
also it's like you don't have to start on a Monday. You can start on a Wednesday.
Yeah.
You could start on a Friday. Like you don't just have to wait for the next week. If you're feeling motivated, just go and do it.
Yeah. Love that.
Absolutely.
Brilliant.
Okay, so you guys can find the links to Lucy's page in our show notes. Literally just click the see more button and you'll be able to see everything that she's getting up to. And you can also just search her name, Lucy Thatcher, on basically most social media
I tried
platforms.
to do it where you can like on every platform just type in Lucy Thatcher and then it should come up now.
And then you can also find us online too. So you can find us on Instagram at WeAreBobbi. You'll be able to find out everything that we're getting up to. And you can also sign up to our waiting list. There you'll be able to help us on our mission to supporting more women into getting involved in fitness and creating that really accessible, inclusive space, no matter what stage of the cycle you are in. Don't forget, if you enjoyed today's podcast, make sure that you give it a follow. It will allow us to get a lot more incredible guests onto the podcast. And we can't wait to see you all next time.
Thank you so much for listening.
Oh, yeah.